Long before we named the stars, before the continents drifted apart, the ocean was here, whispering ancient stories. And within this vast, liquid cradle, there exists a creature whose very presence challenges the limits of nature. Let your mind drift to the frozen reaches of the Antarctic. Here, where the boundary between sky and sea is blurred by mist and ice, a colossal shadow glides beneath the surface. This is Azura. Azura is not merely an animal. She is a grand monument of nature. 30 meters in length, her body is like a floating island, a cathedral of flesh and bone drifting through the void. Her skin is not simply blue, it shimmers with the color of slate, mottled with turquoise when the rare sunlight pierces the depths. Beneath her belly, a golden hue from clinging algae earns her the ancient name sailors once whispered: Sulfur Bottom. Listen, not with your ears, but with your chest. A deep, resonant thud. Boom, boom. It is the beat of Azura's heart. A heart weighing 600 kilograms, pumping warm blood through vessels as wide as tunnels. Each beat sustains not only her life, but seems to keep time for the ocean itself. But this queen of the deep is not alone. Tucked beneath her massive pectoral fin, in the slipstream where the water is calmest, lies Kiko, a calf 6 months old, small only by comparison at 7 meters long. Kiko views the world with eyes wide, innocent, and full of curiosity. To him, Azura is the entire universe. She is his shelter, his nourishment, and his only guide in this boundless blue wilderness. They drift in a sacred silence, yet they are speaking. Azura's song, low-frequency rumbles that travel thousands of kilometers through deep underwater canyons, is a love song from mother to child. It is a declaration of existence, a sigh of proud solitude echoing across the vastness. Summer arrives in Antarctica, bringing with it a sun that refuses to set. The ocean awakens from its long slumber, and for Azura, the hunger begins, a gnawing, primal command. To power a body weighing nearly 200 tons, and to produce the rich, fatty milk that Kiko needs to grow by the hour, Azura requires energy, an unimaginable amount of energy. It is nature's great paradox. The largest animal to ever live does not hunt leviathans. She survives on the smallest, most fragile of lives, krill. Beneath the freezing waves, billions of tiny shrimp gather, forming pink clouds that stretch for miles. They are the feast of the ocean. Azura senses them. She feels the vibration of the water, tastes the density of life in the currents. The hunt begins. It is not a chase, but an explosive display of power. Azura accelerates. Her tail drives her massive bulk forward with the speed of a torpedo. As she approaches the pink cloud, she opens her colossal jaws. The pleats of skin beneath her throat, usually folded tight, expand like a giant accordion, inflating to their absolute limit. In a single moment, she engulfs an Olympic swimming pool's worth of water and krill. Her body bloats like a massive water balloon, defying the drag of the sea. It is a critical moment. Succeed, and she gains 500,000 calories. Fail, and she faces exhaustion. Azura closes her jaws. Her massive tongue begins the work of a hydraulic piston, pushing tons of seawater out through her baleen plates, nature's perfect filter. The water leaves, the krill remain. Millions of tiny lives become the fuel for one magnificent giant. Beside her, Kiko watches with clumsy admiration. He tries to lunge, opening his small mouth, but catches only a few shrimp and a mouthful of brine. He does not yet know that his life will be an endless pilgrimage, chasing these blooming seasons from the poles to the equator. A nomadic existence, driven by the eternal need to keep the fire of life burning within. The ocean is vast and poetic, but it is not a sanctuary. No monarch rules forever without eyes watching the throne. As twilight stains the water purple, the hunters arrive. A pod of orcas, killer whales, the wolves of the sea. They lack Azura's size, but they possess a terrifying weapon: intelligence and coordination. 15 of them, moving as one tactical unit, their eyes fixed on Kiko. They know they cannot take down Azura, but the calf is vulnerable. The attack erupts like a storm. They charge, biting, ramming, trying to separate Kiko from his mother's protection. They throw themselves over the calf, trying to drown him, to keep him from the surface. Kiko panics, thrashing in desperation. But Azura is not a passive stone. Motherhood transforms her into a force of nature. She swings her 6-meter-wide tail, creating shockwaves that wallop the attackers. She pivots her massive bulk with impossible agility, turning herself into a fortress of steel to shield her son. The water boils with the sounds of battle, roars, impacts, and the desperate cries of life. Finally, the wolves retreat, defeated by the resilience of the giant. But just as they escape the jaws of nature, they face a different monster. A monster with no teeth, armed only with a scream. From the distance, a rumble approaches, growing louder. The cacophony of metal grinding on metal. A massive container ship cuts across their path. To humans, it is commerce. To whales, it is blindness. Whales see with sound. The noise of the ship creates a dense fog, masking all signals. Azura cannot hear the ocean. She cannot navigate. Worst of all, she cannot hear Kiko. Chaos ensues. The noise drills into their minds. Azura swims in circles, sending out desperate calls that are swallowed by the roar of the propeller above. The ship passes over them like a dark cloud blotting out the sun, its giant blades churning the water into deadly vortices. Just a few meters more. As the ship fades, leaving behind a slick of oil and an eerie silence, mother and son find each other again. Kiko trembles against her side. On his skin, fresh scratches remain, a lesson carved in scars about the world he now inherits. A world that no longer belongs solely to them. Time is a current no one can swim against. Moons pass, ice shelves crumble and reform. Kiko has long since left to roam the northern seas, a titan in his own right. And Azura? She has returned to the Antarctic one last time. 80 years of traversing the globe. Her body bears the map of her journey. Her once sleek skin is now sagging, dappled with the marks of parasites and old battles. Her eyes, once bright as stars, are now cloudy, gazing up at the surface for the final time. Her last breath shoots into the cold air, weak and dissolving into the wind. Her heart, that tireless engine, beats one final rhythm, and then silence. Azura dies, but the story does not end here. Gravity takes hold, slowly, majestically. Like a falling leaf weighing 200 tons, she begins her descent. She drifts past the sunlit zones, through the twilight waters, settling finally into the eternal darkness of the abyss. On the barren sea floor, where life struggles to exist, Azura's body becomes a miracle. Scientists call it a whale fall. She becomes an oasis in a desert. Immediately, the scavengers arrive. Sleeper sharks, hagfish, giant spider crabs, and billions of microbes begin the feast. Azura's death brings life to an entire ecosystem. Her bones will become a reef. Her flesh will sustain thousands of generations of deep-sea creatures. A single whale fall can sustain the seafloor for 50, perhaps 100 years. She lived as a queen, and she died as a sanctuary, giving everything she was so that life could continue. Thousands of miles away, a new day breaks. The sun paints the waves in gold. A spout of water shoots high into the air, powerful and proud. It is Kiko's calf, Azura's grandchild. The blue bloodline flows on. The symphony of the ocean continues, note after profound note, echoing through the generations. As long as we respect the blue, the legend of the giants will never fade.